The Sega Master System may have been discontinued in 1996, at least in Europe anyway, but that hasn't dampened the homebrew community's enthusiasm to continue creating new games for the trusty old Sega 8-bit. Voyage, a Sorceress's Vacation, is an all-new game for 2020, 4 years in the making, and it's a total conversion of Alex Kidd in Miracle World using Kid Ed. But the keen-eyed amongst you might have already spotted that this isn't an Alex Kidd sequel or a spin-off, but a completely new game. So as the title suggests, you play as a sorceress, who after a long hard year of slaving over a boiling cauldron and turning errant kids into frogs or whatever sorceresses do, is en route to a well-deserved holiday. Unfortunately, your cruise ship breaks down mid-voyage, marooning you on some wretched island in the middle of nowhere. Therefore, your quest is to make it to the other side of the island and charter a hot air balloon to your spa destination before your holiday ends. Your only defence is your cane, with which you bash bothersome beasts that you encounter on the head and break obstacles and crates. Along the way, you'll collect gold coins, which you can spend on helpful magical items from the vending machines found conveniently in most stages. The blue potion gives you the power to perform ranged attacks. The yellow potion grants you a small spell of invincibility, and the green potion allows you to fly temporarily. Since this is based on the Miracle World engine, you can expect lots of platforming, only this time it's been improved somewhat. Jumps are much less floaty and unpredictable, giving greater control when leaping from ledge to ledge. The difficulty is pretty well tuned, breaking you in gently in the earlier stages before increasing steadily but not unfairly, so the later levels never feel impossible. The gameplay is complemented by some of the nicest graphics I think I've ever seen on the Master System. Its pixel art has an unprecedented degree of colour detail and a distinctively modern style. I especially enjoyed seeing the moving clouds in the sky. It takes a neat bit of programming trickery to pull that off on the SMS, and look, they even have little faces.
Aww.
Supporting the visuals is some enjoyable music courtesy of Mandulin, which is fun and full of character, and despite being short looped sections, it's never tediously repetitive. There are 17 stages in all, taking you through the diverse terrain of the island, and each have their own hazards. In the snowy levels, for instance, the ground is icy and slippery, making platforming a tad hazardous, and the deep snow can conceal some enemies. This junkyard level was one of my favourites. With skips to root around in and tyres stacked everywhere, it's like an homage to Atari Scrapyard Dog. The smatterings of dialogue throughout hint at a sly sense of humour. First of all, there's a weary vending machine worker who berates you for emptying them out all the time, and a tour guide who has no tour group to show around, which all breathes life into the world. Success in the game revolves around collecting stuff. Power-ups, lives, and most crucially money can be found not only in the crates that are lying around all over the place, but in hidden areas within the levels. Some are easy to find, but others are concealed or in risky places, but if you can get to them, you're always handsomely rewarded for your trouble. This offers much replayability, since when you play again you'll be trying to find the areas that you missed before. The problem with a premise as simple as this game has is that it leaves little room for antagonists. Aside from the usual fodder of bats, monkeys and scorpions that hinder your path, the only major threats come in the form of 2 boss characters. And they have little bearing on the story beyond what they reveal to you, and while they are fairly mean opponents, once you figure out how to dispatch them, they're easily tossed aside. While most of the game controls nicely, I must admit to frustration at one level, being this one here where you ride a cloud across a mercifully short stage. There are 2 endings depending on how much money you collect on the journey, but neither is much more than just a page of text. Well, in the better ending there is a little something extra, but you'll have to play yourself to see that. But then again, this is probably due to the limitations of the source material, so I'm willing to give it a pass. At its core, Voyage is a hack of Miracle World, so it's bound to invite inevitable comparisons to Alex Kidd, and I've even made some in this review, but I just think that's unfair. It isn't trying to be Alex Kidd, and it holds up well enough on its own. It takes what was good about Miracle World, dispenses with the bits that were not so good, and repackages it as something fresh and unique. But it's cool to see how assets from Miracle World were repurposed in the game, and you'll no doubt recognise quite a few. For instance, the frog that would blow bubbles at you is now this drill machine that flings deadly rubble at you, which I thought was a pretty clever and unique change. However, you might be relieved to know that one element that didn't make it into Voyage is the Janken game, and there's nothing analogous to it either, something which irked a lot of players back in the day. Oh yes, and one more thing, you know that continue cheat that Alex Kidd had? That's in this game too, except in this case, if you have enough money when it's game over, it automatically applies it for you. But Alex Kidd comparisons aside, the best way to review Voyage, a Sorceress's Vacation, is by what it delivers. And that's a very good looking, charming and enjoyably challenging platformer, which as a true 8-bit game, manages to evoke nostalgia whilst feeling completely fresh and unique. My verdict then is that it's a must play for any aficionado of Master System platformers, as well as offering plenty of appeal to brand new players. It's available to download for free, link in the description, and there have been rumours of a physical release on the horizon. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe for more. Click the bell to be notified of new content. If you would like to support this channel, please consider joining in over on Patreon. Membership costs only $1 and that'll earn you an on-screen credit on all future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Retro Respawn.